How's it going? We got Sergio, Isaac. How you guys doing today?
Excellent, man. Excellent.
Awesome. All right. Well, we might have some people jump in the room during the call, so we'll make sure to answer any questions towards the end. So we're gonna be kind of sitting down, me and Alan, chatting with Jesus, talking about his experience with Fastlead, his best practices, and then more importantly, how he closed 5 deals in 1 month. So, we're really excited about this. Really excited to celebrate Jesus's wins. So, guys, if you guys are watching this and you have any questions, drop them in the chat, and then we'll go ahead and answer them after that. But Jesus, how's it going?
It's going good, good.
Going good.
Glad to be here.
Awesome. All right, Alan, how are you?
It's going great. For Jesus, it's just doing good, man. For me, it's going great. To be to be in your presence, Jesus, and then of course we got Tristan, we got Sergio, we got Isaac, Dalton, Mike. I mean, come on, man. It cannot be anything better than this right now, honestly.
Awesome. Cool. Well, all right. Well, oh, is Jesus frozen? Or is that just me?
He's glitching. So the guy closed 5 deals last month or 6 deals last month. He didn't pay the Cox bill or something like that. Is that what's happening here? Like,
No, I don't know what
what's
happened.
going on here? Like, what's happening?
My laptop, I don't know what it did. But I'm back. I'm back.
Right on, man.
I'm gonna go ahead and pin the other one so we can all right. Cool. All right, Jesus. Yeah, for everyone who's on this call and for anyone who's gonna be watching this, doesn't really know you yet. First off, everyone who's on here basically wants to learn how you're closing so many deals. Like last month you closed 5, and then so if you don't mind, can you share a little bit more about yourself? Who you are, how long you've been in real estate, and the market you're in.
Yeah. So this I'm going on my second year in real estate. I just got my license, so I got to do that test again before August. And so my first year in real estate was not good at all. I had joined a team. That team actually ended up letting me go because I wasn't able to close any deals with them. And then that's when I came across Best Homes, and I decided to join you guys. Join you guys' team. Well, back then it was a brokerage, right? And then from the brokerage became a team. But what really stood out to me about there was just the atmosphere. It was just a whole different atmosphere compared to where I was previously at. You could feel that abundance of help from anyone you asked there at that brokerage. And yeah, and then I didn't end up joining Fastly till like I joined the brokerage back in March, so it's just been a year with you guys. And then I didn't join Fastly till like July, I believe. And then from July, I guess we had some issues, right, Tristan? We couldn't get it set up to like late September. I mean, early September or late August is when I actually started, receiving these leads and all that. And then from there, my first deal I closed with Fast Leads was in December. And that one was, shoot, that one, I mean, like 15K on that deal itself. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. What were you gonna ask?
Yeah, I was just curious. So, like on your previous team and stuff, like what did your like where were you getting leads? What was the monthly deal flow like too? Because I know they were giving leads from a source, right? Or
Yeah. It was Zillow leads. It was Zillow leads, and then they also had like they had everything. They had Zillow leads, Movado leads, Realtor.com, like all those leads, and I wasn't able to close any of them, and then some of them would be like manufactured homes, and it was just like it was crazy. And then also like I don't know how these Zillow leads would work, but like it kind of felt like you were tricking these people into, going to go visit this home, right? Because all these people did were click on the Zillow or app or whatever, and then they just want to go look at a home, right? But then when we go take a look at the home, then you start, asking them like, hey, are you interested in purchasing, a home if this one doesn't work out or whatnot? And they'd be like kind of surprised, like, hey, I just want to go look at this house, and I don't want to, hear back from you guys if I don't like this house or whatever. And it was kind of like confusing for these people. They have this random person, show them a house, and then try to get them into a buyer broker agreement or something like that in that sense. And I just didn't like it. I felt like I was lying to these people by doing that, so it just didn't work out for me. And not only me, honestly, it was a lot of us in that team that it didn't work out for. And then for the people that it did work at the beginning, like the splits were like crazy. Like I think it was, 35% to Zillow, and then the team after that would get 50%. So I mean, I know the first deal I locked with Fast Leads, that 15,000. If it was a Zillow lead, I probably would have got like maybe 7,000, if that, from that type of lead. So
Nice.
yeah, but I get it. It's free, right?
Jesus, you'll probably be lucky to get like $3,000 out of that.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it's a big cut. It is.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
Okay. And so, and I know you mentioned kind of like, when you first joined Alan's team, like you didn't join Fastlead yet. What made you pull the trigger on that finally? Like what was the hesitation in the middle?
It it was, I was defeated at that point. Like I had just got kicked out of a team. I'm like, dude, like what do I do next? Like this is like real estate ain't working out for me, and I was really down. I remember just being down, and I'm like, yeah, something, I'm done. I was doing DoorDash, I was doing, Spark deliveries, Uber Eats, I was doing all of that just to sustain myself because I had gone through all my savings in those 6 months that I had joined that team, that I was with that team, because they were like, hey, you got to be committed. We don't want you having a job and what and whatnot. So I was doing all that just to catch up on everything I had gone through, all my savings, and I was doing pretty good, right? I was making a decent income, and I'm like, yeah, something, I'm just gonna give up on real estate, and then I ended up hopping on, Alan's Monday motivation videos. He does live every Monday, and he's like, it kind of hit me at that point. He's like, dude, like think about it. Where can you just go get yourself a license, for a couple $100, and you have unlimited potential. Like there's nothing holding you back besides yourself. Like who can cap you? It doesn't matter, any business or any employment you have, you can only, put certain amount of hours because there's only a certain amount of hours in a day. But here you just have a limited potential. And even when you run out of hours, you can start hiring people to do stuff for you. And then you just keep going, and I was like, something. I remember I had a credit card, right? And I was like, something. I'm gonna use this stupid credit card and waste it on dumb shit, anyways. Fuck it. Let's just go with Fast Leads. I was like, Gabby, here you go. Here's my credit card. Let's just go. And yeah, and I remember I started getting these leads, and it took like what 2-3 months maybe till I got my first closing. But I came across a lot of people, a lot. And some of the people that I even started from the beginning, I actually got one from October that I'm barely going to close now. That I just kept up, just following up with her, and now she's under contract. But this was one of probably my first out of 30 leads. It was, and now she's closing. So.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things, and I'd like to kind of, unpack that a little bit. Because like a lot of times, when agents are getting started on like the online lead generation, there's probably these internal expectations that they have versus
Hmm.
what's actually going to happen and how, what that process looks like. So could you
Hmm.
walk us through like when you first got into lead gen, kind of like what your expectations were, and then, what actually happened and what needed to be done to get these over the fence?
So, dude, like honestly, I remember just getting these leads, and I was calling them, all of them. Like I call them all. Some of them were like, you know, wrong number or do not contact me, or I was just trying to look at this house or whatever, right? But I remember just calling them, all of them, just trying to get them through the fence, get them through the get them across. And it I didn't expect, not like, I didn't know what I was really doing at the beginning. I just knew I had to call them and then see what that would lead to. And then as I started developing, I guess the skill to have a better conversation with them and whatnot. That's when things started changing for me, and then that's when I started focusing more on building quality leads, right? Because not all the leads you get will be quality leads. Like some of them do want to purchase a home. Don't get me wrong, but it's just they need so much work to get them across that like they have low income, they have no credit, and I'm not saying I don't work with them. I do like try to help them, point them in the right direction. But most of them, they want it right there and then, and most of these clients don't qualify for right there and then. So that's when I started learning, like, hey, I need to focus more on these other leads that are actually ready. They have everything in order, and they just need to be guided to what's the next step, right? And that's where I'm at now, with these leads, which is kind of crazy to say, because, like I said at the beginning, I was calling them all of them, all of them. I wanted all of them to work out, and now I'm like, okay, something. I'm gonna point you in the right direction, but I ain't got time for you. I gotta call this guy because this guy's he's got everything lined up in order, and that's where my attention is at now.
It's awesome. And so, like, since you mentioned kind of the numbers and stuff, you remember we recorded that video? I posted on Instagram. I think it was 4 months in. You said you were booking around 3 to 4 buyer consults a week. I think you had 4 buyer broker agreements signed, and you had one in escrow. So, like, and then now last month you closed 5 deals. So, could you walk us through, the process from, when we spoke 4 months ago and how you're able to build up this deal flow to get all these closings last month?
Okay, so the way I go about them is that the AI, right? First off, it's the AI that does most of the work for me, does the legwork for me. So those are the ones I target first, right? Like the ones that actually booked a phone call with me through AI, those are the ones that I know are really interested, like they need help, right? From that, if I have time left over, then I will start calling the people that started talking with AI and then they just stopped for some reason. Maybe they asked them a question that they didn't really kind of understand or something. That's the second list of people I call. Then third is just, I just start going down the line, like, whatever order they came in, those are the ones I start calling. And then also, with the AI system, I do have like this column where it says hot leads, people that I've talked to. I either scheduled them, for a consultation or with the loan officer, but they didn't show up. Those are the ones I'll put in, the hot leads column. Those are the next people I'm calling, and that's how I go about my day of calling people, of lead gen. But
So the AI ones are the top ones you're working.
yes, for sure, yeah, yeah. Those ones that booked a call or booked an appointment, yeah, those are the first ones I'm calling. And those are the ones that usually have everything, if not everything, are the closest to purchasing a home.
Got it. Okay. And then regarding that AI side of things, what does that handoff look like? So, like, if you're going to be scheduling them with the lender, or you see them, having a conversation, like, when do you jump in? Like, do you even jump in when they're responding? And then, when you are teeing them up to have that initial conversation, is it with you? Are you doing it with your lender? Like, what does your process look like?
So if AI is doing the conversation, like I let AI do it, um, I don't jump in. I if I don't see them, I'll jump in. If I see that they stop talking to AI for like in an hour, that's when I'll jump in. Because sometimes I've seen it where they don't answer AI for like 15 minutes, and then they start having a conversation again, or they'll even apologize. Hey, I'm sorry, I was in a phone call or whatever, and then AI picks up right off of their, oh, no worries, we know life happens or whatnot, and and then those are the ones that I work with from there. And then I'm sorry, Tristan, what was your second question?
So it's just like, when the leads come in, do you jump in, and then what does that handoff look like to your lenders, or like how do you tee up that conversation? Because I've talked to a lot of agents where, they have the AI working the leads. It's conversing, or the conversation falls off, and then they don't get the lead to the lender, or they don't show up to the lender. So I mean, that's another question. But yeah, how do you get them to what's the transition look like when you're getting them to get pre-qualified?
So when it comes to the new builds, the way I go about it with the new builds is I kind of, I try to qualify them myself based on, what the information they're telling me. Like I'll start asking some, not go deeply into, lender questions, but, like, hey, I'm just curious, like, how much are you guys making a month? What are your guys' current debts? And what's, do you by any chance know your credit score? Sometimes they'll pop up on your credit card or something like that. And then based on that information, like if they I don't see them like really like, well, I had a foreclosure a couple of years ago. I don't know if I qualify. If they start questioning themselves, that's when I'll send them to a loan officer. But I've come across a lot of these leads that I qualify myself and then just take them to the new build, show them the house. They like it, they move forward with it, and I'm good. Like 8 out of 10 times that's worked for me. Um, but but the ones that do question themselves, I'll be like, something. It sounds like you're more concerned about being able to qualify. So why don't we start there? I just want to make sure that I answer all of your questions. Let me put somebody in contact with you so they can answer these uh, lender related questions, right? Because I really don't know too much about that. Besides, like I said, I just go based off their debt and income and credit score, and then I'll qualify myself. But if they have other questions, they're going directly to the lender. And yeah, like I said, the ones that don't show up to the lender, those are the ones that I put on hot leads, right? Like I'm gonna go back to them. And even then, my lenders also, the loan officers I work with, they're also following up with them. They'll leave me like an email, like, "Hey, Jesus, I reached out to Victor, he didn't answer." And then, all right, well, that's when I'll call them too. Like, hey, Victor, what happened? With I seen that you missed your appointment and whatnot. And sometimes they do show up. Sometimes, it takes 3, 4 times to get them, back on track.
Absolutely. And so do you have like a specific um like script or like intro that you go by when these leads come in? Like, do you have an opening that you usually go by for, like, let's say these new build campaigns come in? What's your intro?
So my intro is just, I used to have a script right next to me. Now it's like they answer the phone. I'm like, oh yeah, Victor, yeah. Hey, Victor. So this is Jesus. I seen that we started chatting. It said that you were interested in a 3-bedroom house. You were looking out in the Phoenix area. Do you have any additional questions I can help you with? And that's it. That's all I do. Honestly, now it's not like from all these gurus you see online or whatnot. It's just like, how can I help you, dude? That's it. That's all I say now.
Got it. Okay.
Well, you know something. You know what's the rate at going at, or they'll just ask some random question, and then from there it just leads to a whole conversation. But I don't say nothing fancy. I don't say anything. It's just like, how can I help you? You know, we were talking. I assumed you got busy. You know, that's why I didn't hear back from you in a text message. So I just figured I'd give you a call. So, you know, how can I help? What questions may you have? Because I'm pretty sure you're reaching out because you have questions, right? And then it just goes from there. But honestly, like I got recordings. I'll shoot them to you guys. You guys can hear them. Like that's all I say is like, how can I help? That's it.
I love that. I actually saw a saying. There's like a sales method this guy used where he kept it super simple. It said it was make a friend, help a friend. That
Yeah.
was the concept. So sounds like he's very similar to that. So that's awesome. And then you mentioned about the leads. I think this is like a really important thing I really want to touch on today. Um, a lot of people with online leads, they can struggle at times with people who like aren't serious. So, you know, you always get people who are just looking or they say they're not serious. And you kind of answered this with the AI, but how do you separate like the serious buyers from, you know, those potential tire kickers you mentioned? And how quickly can you usually tell if they're going to be good leads or tire kickers?
How quick can you tell? You can't tell that quick. It- those are the ones that you know miss the buyer consultations. Those are the ones that miss the loan officer. Um, and then after 3 or 4 tries, you know they're not answering anymore. So then you just move on to the next. I mean, that's how I go about it because you have so many leads coming in, dude. Like it doesn't make sense to chase those people. Like at the beginning, I used to stress out so much on that because you're trying to make them all fucking work, and not all of them work. And it's got to the point where I have so many leads. I'm so backed up on leads. Like I don't even worry about them. Like I used to stress them. Now I don't. It's like, okay. Sometimes I'm like so busy that, dude, like I hope this guy don't show up because I'm 20. I'm running 20 minutes behind, you know. And I call him. He's like, no, you know, I'm running late too. All right, cool. Or he's like not gonna show up. I'm like, okay. But you you have so many leads to follow up with that doesn't even become an issue anymore. You're not even concerned about them because you're so overwhelmed with all the people you already have in your pipeline that are either speaking with the loan officer, they're under contract, um, they're scheduled to buy a consultation with you, um, or something. But those are the ones that for sure are motivated. And then also, you know, just asking them questions like, what's got you in the market for a new home or whatnot. But I know that's not an issue for me anymore. Like the ones that don't even answer, I'll just put them like I called. I'll reorganize them. I'll put them in the column or like I called, no answer. But then I still have so many leads. I have so many hot leads that I have to get to. Like it's not it's something like you get over it, I guess, because
So,
you have so many coming in.
so the key is just to have a ton of leads, a flood of leads
Yes,
through the AI. Um,
yes.
okay. And so what is your, I know you kind of talked about this too, but for like the follow-up process, do you have like a cadence? Like I know you said you put them in, um, you know, you try to set them up with the lender. If they don't show up, you put them in a stage. Can you walk us through like your full process of like a lead that comes in to to the initial qualification?
Yeah, so you know, I like I said, at first I'm targeting all the people that booked a call with me, right? So they booked a call with me, you know, those are most likely gonna move forward. You know, they need help. They're missing something. And if you get to what their real problem is, like they will move forward with you. Um, then you know, say for instance, the people that stop talking to AI, those stop talking to AI, who knows for what reason. Those are a little harder to convert, but they you can still convert them. Um, so I'll talk to them. Those are usually more people that are have loan related questions, or at least it's been like that for me. Once I identify, what the issue is, which most of the time is loan related questions, or, hey, my credit score is at 500. Like, can you help me get it up there? Yes, those are the ones that are going to the lender. Once I hand them off to the lender, I will organize them to the hot leads. Or if not, I'll organize them to schedule a consultation with the lender. I'll put them under that column, right? Then that loan officer, for if they don't reach out to them, or they don't show up to the consultation with them, that's when I will call them again and try to get them back. If they don't, that's when I'll move them from that column to just a hot lead, and I will get to them, afterwards. Try to call them again. After the third try, if they don't answer, that's when, I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna stress on this guy. Like, I got like 100 more I gotta catch up on, right? And that's how I go about it.
Gotcha. And you're probably just letting, so like after the third one, you're kind of letting the system and AI do its thing until
Yeah,
is again. Okay.
yeah. I've actually had AI only so far in two occasions that they re-engaged a client that was like 3 months old. Like, so far, it's happened to me twice. I'm like, it, it, it's been those leads that I wasn't able to reach. They were talking to AI, I didn't reach them. They got flooded down, from all of the constant leads that come in, and then I see them like, who's John, and then I see, I go all the way up, I scroll all the way up, and yeah, they were having a conversation, like late January, and then they're back, having a conversation. So it's happened to me on two occasions where AI re-engages these people from months behind.
Awesome. And for the ones you do follow up with, like what does your speed to lead look like? Do you try to call them right away or
Mm, to the contrary of what I'm supposed to be doing, like you say, call them right away. I don't call them right away. Like, if they schedule a phone call, yes, I'm on time. I make the phone call. Um, the ones that left off talking, AI, those, I like I said, I'll wait like a whole hour before I even call them, or sometimes I'll even call them the next day, and I still don't have a problem with them. So, but yeah, I don't call them right away. I'd be lying to you guys if I said I did.
the
I
AI is
don't.
following up with them right away?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that is the beauty of it is, like, we do recommend a call, but you can still get a lot of these opportunities by just texting them right away and
yeah.
working them for you on your behalf. So that's awesome. Alan, do you have any specific questions around these topics or anything you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, man. So kind of give us an idea when you started, right? You said you use your credit card, right? For the lead gen services and also the ads. What did it look like in terms of your like daily budget? How much were you spending per day for these leads when you started back in you said July, August of last year,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. So I was just doing $10 a day, which was $300 a month. That's what I was doing. That's
Okay,
what
so,
that's
10 bucks a day, $300 a month. How many on average, how many leads were you getting?
at that time. I believe I was getting, on a week, I was probably getting 10 to 14 leads in a week.
Okay, so about 1 to 2 leads every single day.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Got it. And when did you decided to bump up that budget? Because I think right now, how much are you spending right now per day?
I doubled it.
You
I'm at
doubled it.
20. Yeah, I'm at 20.
So even right now after closing, and I was just looking at your numbers right now. I was like, let me take a look at his numbers again. It shows that again, but these are not current. Is like up until the April of this year, from January to April. So for 4 months, you closed 11 transactions.
Yeah, I
11
just closed one.
transactions.
I think I closed one 3 days ago. I don't know if you're counting that one. That one was 3 days
No, I'm
ago.
not counting that one. I'm not counting. So that's 12 deals in the last
Mhm.
4.5 months,
Yeah.
probably over $100,000 in income. It's got
Oh
to be
yeah.
over 100,000
Way,
also,
way over.
right?
Yeah, I'm way over 100.
So, like, kind of give us an idea. So you started, with a $300 a month budget. When did you increase that to $20 a month? How long after you started with us did you double that ad budget to $600 a month?
I think it was late January because January that's when I closed like an additional 4 deals, and I'm like, okay, let's go up. So it was either late January or early February. That's when I bumped it up.
Okay, so not until almost 5 months out
Hmm.
after. Got it. So you're spending $600 a month right now. You're generating probably on average, what, about give or take 100 leads a month or so?
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
So from last year to this year, like, and I know you probably don't have the exact numbers, dude. Like, how much did you spend in the ads? Like, for the ads, is it like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000? How much did you spend since last July or August timeframe?
Um, what has it been? I know Gabby actually sent me the because I used it on my taxes as a deduction too. I don't know how much. I I think I'm probably like at 6, 7 thousand around there.
6, 7,000?
Yeah, that
Okay.
I've
And,
I've
and
voiced so far.
and you don't have to give us an exact number. How much did you make?
I'm probably like at right now 130, 140, and then I still got another four in escrow. So I got two closing in May 20th. I got another one on May 27th, and then I got another one on June 9th that are closing. And then, plus all the buyer broker agreements, I got probably over 20 buyer broker agreements signed. So
You got over 20 buyer broker agreements signed?
yeah.
Wow, holy moly. All right. So like what is that return, right? So you spent about 6 grand, you made $130,000, man. That's a 20x, minimum 20x
Oh yeah.
return.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you still got so much in your pipeline for the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah. Oh
Probably
yeah.
another couple of $100,000.
Yeah. Yeah, because almost each of these deals, you're probably making over 10K easy. So
Yeah, man, interesting. When I got licensed, my first deal was a $100,000 listing right off 83rd Avenue in Camelback, and my commission check was $2,500. Nowadays, agents complaining with the $10,000 commission checks.
yeah.
Awesome. And Sergio, you're spot on, dude. Like without the huge splits, because there are
Hmm.
agents out there that are closing one, two, three transactions every single month, but then they got to pay 40% to Zillow.
Yeah.
They got to pay 50% to the team, and then they got to pay another 20% to the brokerage. They left with 20% of the commission. So that $10,000 becomes really a $2,000 commission check. So literally, you got to close 5 deals to make what Jesus does with one deal.
Hmm.
Yeah, interesting. Um, Tell me, and I know Tristan asked you this, you know, and you mentioned about the fact that, like, man, for me, it just clicked, right? But I remember when I started paying for these leads back in 2015, 16, I remember there were like weeks and months where I was like questioning the whole process, right? I was like, man, they're not answering. I can't connect with them. These leads are shit, right? Like literally took me months to figure it out. And I think I hired a coach to help me with that process. But then the next 12 months, I think I made over $100,000 in commissions, right?
Hmm.
So their agents during that stage, right? They question things, they get discouraged, and then they like ultimately give up. Your situation was hard. Like married, 3 kids under age of 7. Dude, you were Ubering and DoorDashing, like you were making some money, but not a lot of money, right? So what made you to continue to push through and overcome all of these mental hurdles that you were probably dealing with when you were not seeing those results, right? When you started like in July, man, finally getting leads in August, nothing is closing until like I think you said the first deal closed October or November timeframe. How were
Hmm.
you able to continue to overcome all of these internal mental emotional challenges?
Man, it was like you said, like it's like nothing was clicking. Everything I did, like I just kept blaming myself. Like, damn, if I said this? If I would have done this, maybe if I would have approached it this way, maybe if I would have um, you know, answered faster or called them faster or something. I always blame myself for something, it not working out. And I think now what's changed for me is I've actually finally embraced, what most people say is just a numbers game, right? At the beginning, I didn't think that, right? Now I am to the point where, if I have a shitty day where I call, 30 people, none of them answer, I'm like, cool. I already know tomorrow someone's going to answer and someone's going to say yes. I'm going to book a consultation for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Like it's just a numbers game. So I think once I started embracing that, that's when things started changing for me. When I was like, I got 30 no's, like no, wrong number, no, Sergio doesn't live here, you got the wrong number. I was just trying to look at a house. You get a bunch of excuses, right? And I'm like, I'm that much closer now to that yes, that's gonna pay, for whatever amount of months for the fast leads.
Hmm.
But at the beginning, what got me through is just making the phone calls. It was just, something I'm just gonna make the phone call and then figure it out. I gotta figure it out. I gotta say something or do something, but I know if I keep going, then I'm gonna get it, right? Because there's no way you can fail if you don't quit. Like, if you just keep going, someone's gonna answer, someone's gonna say yes. Someone will.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, the conversion rates are 2%, 3%, 4%, 5% if you're really a killer or a savage, right? So like think about it, 90% or so leads are not going to do anything with you, right?
Yeah.
And you just have to, I talk about this. By the way, I tell this to myself all the time, man, just fall in love with the process. Fall in love with the process. Trust the process. Disengage as much as you can. And I know it's hard to do so from the
Hmm.
actual result,
Yeah.
right? And when it comes to lead gen, when it comes to lead conversion, when it comes to anything, when it comes like working with people in general, dude, like most of them are going to do something on their time clock, not yours.
Hmm.
So some of them are going to be ready to do something now. Great, you're going to help them out right now, but most of them probably will take some time, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's where the AI comes in, and that's where you come in with your nurturing skills.
Hmm.
Yeah,
100%, Alan. 100%. Yeah.
love it, man. That's great. Um, dude, I mean, what does the next 6 to 12 months look for you? Like if you just kind of like, are you thinking like building a team? What does that look like for you? Because right now you're averaging 2 to 3 transactions a month. Do you want to get to 5, 6 transactions a month every single month? What does that look like for you?
It, it has to start with me, right? I actually need to sit down and build a system, right? Because there's so many moving parts right now that I got so many moving parts that I really need to sit down, build a system. And that's the reason I haven't even upped, my lead spend on a day because I already have so many leads. So I need to figure something out quick so I can start scaling up. Um, and and I know it needs to start with me sitting down, like, all right, I got to build a system. I got to have, people helping me. I already have a transaction coordinator helping me, but I need more help, right? First, for sure, I need, someone showing houses for me because that is very time consuming, and sometimes it's like an hour drive from where I'm at. So within that hour, I can be calling more leads. Um, that's where I need to start. That's
Hmm.
Yeah, because now it's not the conversion, converting these leads. It's being able to help all these leads because it's a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the leverage comes in, right? And the way we grow and scale is by leveraging through people and systems. It's all
Yeah.
about that, right?
Hmm.
Like now we can sell a lot of real estate ourselves, but here's what's going to happen. Eventually we're going to burn out. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I remember my second year in business, I closed 35 transactions. I made pretty decent money, but I hated my lifestyle because I was working 80 hours a week.
Hmm.
So the fact that you have a TC, that's awesome. I think the next step for sure is aligning and partnering with maybe 2 to 3 showing assistants that,
Hmm.
that are going to be quote unquote your partners, and that's how you're going to present them to your clients, right? In
Yeah.
different parts of the valley that are going to be going out there and showing on your behalf. And your job is still, market, your job is still, talk to these opportunities, to these leads, do the buyer consults, right? but then, presenting that showing assistant as your partner in a specific area of town,
Mm-hmm.
and let them do all the showings, because that's where you could take a lot of your time off the plate,
Yeah.
so we got a couple of agents here that do that right now. I started before I even started the team. I had 4 showing assistants. That was probably one of the most profitable models I ran,
Yeah.
right? So that's something that we can talk about it off the record if you would like, or on the record, whatever you want. Yeah, but I think the next step is really aligning yourself with few agents that you can trust, that can go out there and start showing homes on your behalf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely the next step. At the point where I'm at right now.
Yep, and with that model, you can start closing 5, 6, 7, 8 transactions every single month.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
because
and then
I got the leads. I don't have the time, but I got the leads.
you got the leads, you don't have the time, right? And that's essentially our number one financial asset is the time and energy, if you really think
Mm.
about it. So, but definitely the showing assistant route. I would also suggest, and this is what I've done, but again, everybody's a little bit different, is bringing in some sort of an assistant or an admin, that will work with you, and almost kind of be that buffer between you, some of your clients, as well as maybe showing assistants that you're going to be working with.
Yeah.
That's another avenue to take, especially if you're planning to build out a real estate team.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that I think, the real estate team is probably a little further along in the future.
Yep. Yep.
But definitely, next step is like you mentioned, the showing agents. That I know I do need at this moment where I'm at.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but
Sergio is asking, how many leads do you have in your CRM right now?
let me check really quick, Sergio. I will let you know. Okay, so I currently have let's see. I have so shoot, since I have them all mixed up, I got 537 leads I have not called yet. I got 42 hot leads. I got 9 currently getting pre-qualified with the lender. I got 57 those are the ones that I said people I just called, but I need to reorganize them that didn't answer. Let's see what else I got. I'd say about an estimate 700, a little over 700.
S-
Yeah.
700 leads. You
Mhm.
already closed 12. You
Yeah.
have 20 buyer broker agreements executed, and you have three. You said 3 or 4 in escrow.
Hmm.
Is that right?
I got 4. Let me see. 2, 3, 4. 4 in escrow. Yes. And
Four in
then
escrow.
I'm working with 3 buyers that I'm showing them homes right now.
Got it.
Um, yeah.
Got it. Cool. So yeah, you don't have to have ton of leads, but at the same time, you need to have leads, right, to close that many deals, that many transactions.
Hmm. Yeah. So so it kind of averages about, like you mentioned, maybe 100 or 80 leads a month you're getting because I'm going on a year in August. So
Yeah. Hmm.
so yeah.
That's great. Awesome. What other questions do you guys have for Jesus before we wrap this up?
I had some leads that came in during this meeting. Will we get a recorded call that we could go back and look at on this or no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool deal. Thank you.
Awesome. And then Jesus, just as we wrap up, um, for anyone who's either, just getting started with Fast Lead or they're thinking about getting into online lead gen, what advice do you have for them? And anything you'd like to share on it?
You know, it, like just do it, and I don't mean it just like just do it. I mean advertise yourself. Like everybody advertises. Any big company, Microsoft, Coca-Cola, every goddamn company advertises. So if you're not advertising, how do you expect these leads to come to you? You know, even if you don't do with fast leads, you need to advertise. Like you need to do it. Because if you're waiting for, Zillow leads or whatnot, or Movoto leads or Realtor.com leads, like, yes, you can get started for free with them, but the cuts that you're paying, you'll make a lot more with fast leads, way more with fast leads. And even if it takes, say it would have took me 3 months. What was it at 300, well, maybe $1,000 in 3 months I spent up front. But with my first closing that I made about 15,000, like I still had another 14,000 and reinvest in more fast leads and more advertising. And believe it or not, you start getting a lot more people. Even if they're not on fast leads, they'll add you on Facebook, they'll add you on Instagram, they'll add you, to be a friend, and then they start following you and whatnot. And then, later down the line, they will start asking you questions. So I've even got leads from Facebook too that just DM me, hey Jesus, I seen this video. Is it true? And I'm like, yeah, I can show you this house if you don't believe me. And then, oh, okay, and then I'll convert them. So I've even got Facebook leads. I've got Instagram leads that I've actually converted, and then the fast leads also. So like you have to advertise yourself. You have to. Like there's
Yeah, that you're so spot on because like again, just going back to my personal production, Jesus, like one of the main reasons why I was selling so much real estate was because I was just, you know, overwhelmed with leads. Like you were even saying, like I got leads that I need to work on, I need to call, for me, I remember like having leads falling through the cracks. I was like, okay, cool, not a problem. I'm gonna get like three, four, five leads next
Mhm.
day. Right. And it's just that at the end of the day, like, yes, we have real estate sales and real estate sales is a contact sport, but more importantly, it's also a marketing sport. Like
This.
you gotta market and promote yourself. Right.
Mhm.
And that's so important in our industry. And like we as real estate agents, that's something that we have to be constantly aware of. And there's so many different ways of generating business. I get it. Sphere is one of them. I love Sphere, but at the end of the day, like if your Sphere is not transacting with you, or it used to do 20 deals a year, now barely doing 10 deals, we got to find additional 10 deals.
Yeah. Or
So we got to find it somehow, some right? And Fast Lead is one of them.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, or if you even worse, right? If you have a sphere like mine that nobody owns a home, they're all living on rentals,
well,
that don't have any plans of purchasing a home. That yeah, like you need to advertise yourself. Any person you see online or doing big transactions, many transactions, they're advertising. It's impossible not to close 60, 70 deals without advertising. Like there's no way. What are you gonna do? Just cold call random people? Like you have to. Those people are advertising 100%. And if you have to invest in your business, like regardless, if you have a damn taco stand, like if you're not advertising your damn taco stand, like nobody knows where it's at. So
Alan, I obviously I haven't personally met you, but I've seen your name around, and I know you've built a pretty big successful real estate business. But do you get to a point in business where obviously you build a sphere from close transactions, right? And when you're starting off, you are advertising, you're cold calling, you're doing whatever to get deals and build relationships, and they ultimately becomes part of your sphere. Did you ever get to a point where you built such a big sphere and you nurtured it and you started getting like referrals to where you didn't have to market anymore, or what did that look like for you
oh no,
if you're
I,
not still in the
I, I,
business?
I always, that's a really good question, Isaac. I always market it from day one. I market it.
Okay.
Well, my marketing initially was a little bit different than eventually. Initially, like what I did is I was cold calling expireds, cancels for sell by owners. I don't really have any money for marketing.
Right.
Like I started paying for leads in my year number 3. I started geo farming in year number 4. That's after I was already like netting $500,000, right?
Right.
Um, but like to answer your question, yeah, absolutely. The goal is for every single lead that you generate now will become that client for the rest of your life. And like our job is to provide an exceptional service to them. So every time they're thinking about real estate, they're thinking about you. So eventually we want to turn that fast lead, right, into like repeat and referrals, right? But that's why it's so important for us to be relational versus being transactional only. There are agents out there that are really good transactional, right? And they have to be constantly generating leads. And that's fine. But I think ultimately we want to be in this business for many years. We want to make sure that these leads will become our clients for many years to come.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think I seen a question come on. I don't know.
Last question I have from Sergio. What do you think you're pacing to close by the end of 2026, Jesus?
I don't know. So I'm closing about 4 deals a month. So I'm probably, 40. Should be on track for 40 for this year.
Right on.
Yeah.
Jesus, I didn't catch the beginning of the call and how you got started. Is this all you're doing for business? Just purely fast leads?
That's it, dude. Yeah. I'm
Wow.
I'm not
Incredible.
doing open houses. I'm not doing anything else. Like it's just been fast leads. Like I was
Awesome.
doing I was doing open houses and that didn't work out for me. Now I just, sit back in my computer, start making phone calls, and then boom, showing houses. Well, first
Awesome.
it's consultations. Like first off, like I'm always trying to get them, in the office, like for
Yeah.
sure. It's number one for me is like I want to talk to you, I want to show your options, and if it all makes sense, we move forward to the next step for
Right.
sure. And
Yeah.
then from there, I'm showing houses. But you do get, I'm not gonna lie here, you do get one or two that are like I just want to go see this house, and I'm like, okay, well let's go see this house. All right, let's go. And then that's when I start talking to them and getting to know them then. And that's when, I'll slide in that buyer broker, like, let's go.
What do
Here
you
you go.
do? What do you do with leads that you've connected with, and you know right off the beginning that they're not even actual qualify, like they're not even going to be a lead, like one that you can convert on. Like you get a lead that says, "I'm looking for a house where I have $1,000 mortgage payment, or I have a 500 credit score." Like, how do you deal with those type of leads?
So there's some of them where, it kind of breaks your heart to be like, dude, like, there's really not something I can help you with. Like, like I do come across some that are like on disability, right? And like, dude, I got it's like $700 of income I got, and then my wife's on disability too. She's got another $400 of income. Like, what can you do? And I'm like, I have to tell them the truth. Like, dude, like I really, there's nothing. I can't even get you into a townhouse or a condo. With that, not even a manufactured home can I get you into, something for $1,000 monthly payment. And I just tell them the truth and just move on to the next. As sad as that sounds, but you can't help them all, and you will get to that point. Like if you're just consistently making these phone calls and doing that process, consultation, showing homes, always putting them towards the next step, like you're gonna start, you know, um, better managing your time with who to move forward with and who not. And that's when you start asking better questions like, all right, well, before I show you this house, I just want to make sure, or before I send you a list of homes, I want to make sure that, that I'm sending the right list, right? So how much do you make a month? How much, or what was it that you made last year? What kind of debts do you have? At that point, if their debt to income ratio is way off, like I'm not even going to send them houses. I'm not even going to bother to go on the MLS and send them a list of homes because I already know they're not going to get it, you know?
Right. Right. Alan, is that the way you've gone about handling leads that, you have conversations with and you know right away that they're not even worth your time?
Yeah, I mean, the ones that
Or is
like,
there like a nurture approach that you have with them or
yeah, there's always nurturing. I mean, there are automations, right? When they get something from you of a value, at least on a monthly basis. There are a few that I would connect them with another agent that would specialize in working with the tenants, right? The rentals, especially if they're cannot qualify to buy, but we can help them to find a rental property and everything like that, and then we just put them on the automations, and see what happens. You never know. A year from now, 2 years from now, maybe they're in position to buy. Um, but I think what Jesus is alluding to and saying is like, you're going to get to a point in your business where like you're just not going to have that much bandwidth, right?
right,
Like, and you have to be able to really um, like really treat your time as the number one asset, right? And like you're not going to be able to get to every single lead. You're not going to be able to help every single buyer. You're going to have some buyers that are going to flake out, and some of them are just not going to be personality-wise aligned with your personality, and that's okay. That's fine. And in those
Mhm.
situations, again, you can refer them to another agent that maybe has a better type of alignment with that particular buyer. Um, but I think to again to answer your question, Isaac, I mean it really comes back to like, can you really help this individual? And if you cannot really help that individual, you just have to be upfront with them about it, right? And really focus on the ones that you can actually help.
right. Okay, fair enough. Appreciate that.
Awesome. Great
All
question.
right, cool. Any other questions? Man, I tell you, Jesus, I'm so proud of you, dude. Like,
Thank you.
congrats. And I know, like, in all honesty, like you've been only doing this for less than 2 years. You just literally, this is like, I feel like you're like a station number one, and there are like about 10 stations to go.
Oh yeah,
You know,
100%,
there are 10
100%.
stations to go, dude. Just continue to work hard, continue to generate leads. Never stop when it comes to generating leads, dude. Like one of the biggest mistakes that agents make, man, they get overwhelmed and they stop lead gen. Like, no, continue generating those leads because you just never know, man. You just never know. You
Yeah,
just
it's
never know where that lead's going to be 2 or 3 months from now.
yes, yeah. There's always someone who needs your help, right? 100%.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah. Cool. All right, guys. Well, appreciate you guys hopping on. It was a good one. Um, any other questions before we wrap this up? Uh, all right, man. Well, let's get after it. You guys are all generating leads. Let's make it happen.
Yeah, let's make it happen, and we'll have this replay. We'll be sending this out to you guys too. And if you guys have any questions, Jesus, if they want to like, if anyone here wants to reach out to you or touch base with you, what's the best way to connect with you?
yeah, give me a phone call.
Phone call?
Yeah, I'll type it in the chat if you guys want me to.
Cool. All right,
Awesome.
guys. Have a great Wednesday, the rest of the Wednesday. All right. We'll see
Thank
each
you
other.
guys.
Take care.
All right.